Watch the ride.
So, as you may know, I am doing some Twitch streaming, and I just popped into CEX to pick up a copy of GTA 5 for the Xbox One, because I've got it for the 360, don't have it for the Xbox One, and basically, it's a fun game I can play on Twitch, between some other things, and also while we're waiting for Battlefield 5, because I was playing the beta of that, thinking it would be around for a while, and then when I started up a Twitch stream last night, and the first person in was like, by the way dude, Battlefield 5 beta has now ended. And I'm like, oh no! And from what I've played of Battlefield 5, I actually prefer it to Battlefield 1. It seemed, it's very, very similar, but it just felt a little bit nicer to play. Maybe that's because it was less people playing it, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, going back, I went into CEX to try and get a copy of GTA 5 second hand, because why buy it brand new? And CEX wanted 22 quid for it, and I was like, 22 quid? Are you kidding me? Let me just check online. Amazon Prime, have it in my door tomorrow, 22 quid. Why CEX? Do you not understand how business works? The reason you have a shelf full of them is because you're charging the same price for something that is old, risks of being scratched or damaged, and owned by someone else who may have jizzed on the disc, compared to someone paying the same money and getting a brand new one that they can be the first person to jizz on the disc. You know, that's a right that you get with every game. It belongs to the person that owns it. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, seriously, you can't charge the same price for a second-hand game as it is new. Anyway, while talking about gaming and stuff, it's kind of a connected subject through the fact I'm talking about Twitch, blah blah. But I have always tried to keep my personal security to do with YouTube, you know, in a good way. You know, I like to be as open as I can be, but just keep some key information back, so I don't have nutters at my door. I mean, if we work on the assumption that 1% of the population is a bit unhinged, and I think that's pretty fair. If you have 70,000 subscribers, that equates to 700 possibly mentally unhinged people. And thus anything becomes possible. And we've seen this over the years. I know of YouTubers who've had their houses broken into, people showing up at their door. Of course, there's bigger stories about there was a YouTuber that was killed. And of course, Dr. Disrespect, who is a Twitch streamer, who is why this has sort of come up, had his house shot at 2 nights in a row, and they connected on the second night. His wife and his kid were in the house, and someone is shooting at their house.
Welcome to Champions Club. This is the second shot someone shot yesterday at our fucking house, and someone shot again right now and connected with the house upstairs.
What has he ever done to deserve to be shot at? I mean, you have to have some people with a few screws loose to do stuff like this. And of course, there's all the stuff to do with swatting. If you don't know what swatting is, it's basically when someone calls into the police, hey, there's someone with a gun at this place, at this address, blah, blah, which is the streamer's address. And then the armed police go down there and basically smash in the house, and, you know, they think there's an armed suspect. I believe someone actually got shot during one of these. But it's happened many times to the point that the streamers who become very big have to like speak to their local police and say, hey, by the way, this is my address, this is the job I do, this is a thing, people will call you and tell you there's a nutter with a gun there. Please don't listen to them. But the problem is, if he now calls in saying, hey, there is a nutter with a gun here, they're like, oh, it's okay, it's just, no, it's actually me this time, there's really a man with a gun here. And they'll be like, oh, it's fine. It's messed up. And, you know, these people, they haven't done anything to wrong this person. This person's watching them play computer games, and for some reason has taken such a strong dislike to them that they decide to go and do something, risk criminal, you know, prosecution over that. Because you didn't like someone who plays computer games online that you chose to sat and watch. But this isn't something you can throw common sense or logic at, because it is a logical, uncommon sensed thing to think, I dislike this person immensely. I'm just going to keep watching them, and then at some point I'll go and shoot at their house. You know, in my early days I realised the risk that could be connected to doing this, and managed that by only giving out the information that I wanted to. And you see, whenever I've said, oh, I'm not going to do that, or I don't want to do this, or the fact that I've said about if I see a bike behind me on my way home, I go a different way, and I will not return home until I am sure that that person is not behind me. Yeah, I know people have cars too. And you know, people said to that, who the hell do you think you are? Who's going to come and hurt you? I hope no one. I hope you're right that because I have a small channel, there's less nutters out there that hate me. But as it turns out, there are some pretty mentally unhinged people that watch my videos at times. Most of you are good. I like you. You like me. But there's a few that aren't. I've had a couple of people who found out a couple of bits of information and emailed me and said, hey, you know, I don't want to creep you out, but I've just found this out. I'm afraid that does creep me out because it means you were stalking me. You know, it's like finding someone sat in your front room and you're like, who the hell are you? What are you doing here? They were like, well, you see, I discovered that your patio door wasn't open, so I let myself in to teach you a lesson about locking your patio door. You're still going to call the cops. There's a man in my house. The action of doing the thing that even if you know you're not supposed to be doing it, you do it. You're just doing it. Even if you tell me. But I suppose I appreciate that you are telling me and not being a complete psycho. It's a weird thing to think about, and some people, to even consider it, would be to say, oh, well, you're just paranoid. But I'm sure that the YouTuber that was killed, the people who've had their houses shot at, the people who've been swatted, always said, oh yeah, but it'll be someone else, it'll be someone else. But it is my advice to people starting channels or new YouTubers, do keep some privacy about where you live, your name, if you can. I mean, my name's kind of, you know, people don't know my name. There's a few people that know my name. There's a few people who think they know my name. And even if they contact me and go, oh, by the way, I know what your name is is this. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Who the fuck told you that? Well, I don't tell them that. I'm like, keep it to yourself. It's fucking brilliant. Anyway, I've just got to quickly pop into the doctor's to, well, basically they need the okay my GP to up my meds that I talked about in my back update video. Because even though the specialist has said it, the GP has to be okay with it. Oh, now I'm mad. The consultant for my back said to me, go to speak to your doctor and get them to up the amitriptyline if they're happy with it. Great. Now, I'm not going to waste an appointment when there's so few around to go and just say to him, hey, can you just up the things I'm already on because that's what the consultant wants. All it needs to be is a phone call to the doctor or a note past them saying, hey, this patient who you're currently dealing with and know is having problems is trying to get force through the system. His consultant suggested this. You've just got to okay it. But the receptionist decided to say, no, this won't do. I can't pass that note to the doctor and ask him. I am making the decision, which is that will not happen, and you have to get a letter from your specialist to them, because otherwise anyone could walk in off the streets and just ask for anything. Yes, but my doctor knows me, and he knows what's going on, and he knows everything about it, and I'm pretty damn sure that if I just speak to him, he's going to approve this. Oh, well, no, definitely. So I'm going to go and call my consultant and have him call my doctors and tell them. So infuriating. Anyway, I'm going to end this video there. It's just talking about security and that stuff. It's nuts what happens. There's nutters out there. It's nice that most of them are nice nutters like you lot. I'll catch you next time. Hold on a second, we're not quite over yet. I thought I'd put this at the end of this video rather than making it its whole own video, you know. Basically what happened after I spoke to the doctors about the medication was I spoke to my specialist. He sent a letter, or is sending a letter to my GP to say this is my advice for his treatment, give him these drugs. But because that was going to be delayed, I mean the letter may have only just arrived today, I actually called them the end of last week, Friday I think it was, and got an appointment over the phone with the doctor, and with no paperwork, none of that, like the receptionist demanded. The doctor he basically threw half the chemist's worth of amitriptyline at me and said, you know, see how it goes, take what you can. Basically, part of the reason I've been mentioning my back and sharing my story so people understand what's about to happen now. You see, all the videos you've watched recently have been filmed a week or two ago. Things for me have actually in this time progressed and got a lot worse, and I may look okay right now, but that's because I'm sat in a certain way and I'm on a lot of painkillers, and yeah. But I've now reached the point that basically I don't have any bike content left, and I am not riding these unless it's absolutely necessary. I am going to have to go on a trip for the MRI scan and for the follow-up appointment, in which case I won't be allowed to take any of my pills the day before, and on that day, just to make sure I'm straight and, you know, good to ride. And also I'm getting a bike from Lexmoto, which I'm going to do a review on, but it won't be the long-term review that I normally do. It will be more of a first look video that I'll make to start with, hoping that everything will be okay. And if I'm able to ride more after that, I'll make another review to be like anything I want to add on to the original review. It's been done differently basically because I don't know when I can and can't ride. I'm sorry if you're sick about hearing about my back, but trust me, I'm going to be sick about hearing all the comments saying, why aren't you on a bike? Why aren't you on a bike? Because, as I say, I'm now out of bike footage, and I'm going to be doing... There's a few videos which people have wanted me to do for years that I've never actually got round to making. This might be a bit of a clue. So I'm going to be making some videos in the garage and making some of those more talky videos, which for a lot of you, you don't care if I'm on a bike or not. You're just interested in what I have to offer to say. But yeah, so that's just to say that's what happened after that. I was right, the receptionist was wrong. I didn't need all the paperwork and all the stuff. She just delayed me getting that medication for about 5 days. So thanks for that, love. Anyway, thank you very much for the support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the understanding that from now on bike videos are going to be a little bit hit and miss. If at all, we'll see what happens. Thanks for the support.